Hello, this is Jer, and I would love to show you some things that I've been stumbling upon preparing for the Cold Series and Extreme Challenge, surviving on this asteroid. I'll tell you about that later. But first, I've discovered how to make elevators, escalators, and how to shove dupes off a cliff. I will warn you that there is limited practical use, but it is quite entertaining to watch nonetheless. Let's get to it. First thing I have to demonstrate is the dupe dropper. So this is the manual version. I have an automated version coming up next, but we can trap a dupe. Once that door closed, we can get them to destroy this tile. And instead of walking or climbing down, they can fall much faster and get to the bottom of the base. Now let's look at the automated version of this. This is the automated dupe dropper. All it is a door here with a NOT gate and a dupe sensor that's looking at the door itself. So if I go down to the bottom of the base and I tell the dupes that I want some construction down here, let's say make some snow tiles, they'll be able to pick up some snow, head over this, the door's going to close on them, and then they're going to go for a great fall. And then pick up their materials there and get to work. So I'll do this until each of the dupes that want to go do that construction miner on the way down as well. Much faster than climbing down the ladder. In case you're curious how this works, essentially, if I get the dupe to get right here, at this point, the door is being told to close, and dupes are trapped at this point, and the game freaks out a bit, well, at least tries to save the dupe if they can move them left and right. In this case, I've got a tile blocking them from going to this location, so the game's going to throw them right here, and of course, well, there's nothing under there, so the moment they're there, they make a great fall, faster than I can even get down. One thing to keep in mind about this setup is I've got two doors here and here going in the left direction only. Don't want the dupes to go down this way instead. Always want to make sure they take a fall and get down. And of course, we've got a way to get back up to the base when construction is complete. There are some downsides, one of being that when the door closes, some of the dupes can't get through. In this case, two is going down, but mine had to take a little break. And before they realize that they can actually access it as well. Another thing that can go wrong, if you just have a singular task, one of the dupes is going to claim that task. In this case, it looks like it's going to be Miner. They're going to fall down to do that, but as they fall down, they unclaim that task. That's being picked up, in this case, by Fall Guy. Now I've got two dupes that have traveled all the way down, but I actually only need one of them down here. Setting priorities can help. The other thing that you can do is put up a door in front of this way and control access of who can actually access this area. Another drawback is there's only one stop, the very bottom, unlike the ladder and the fire pole where the dupes can exit at any point. Let's conclude this section with a fun little race. We've got falling versus taking the ladder versus taking the fire pole. Zoom out a bit. Fall Guy hitting the ground first. Miner not too far on the fire pole and not even halfway with Builder by the time Miner gets down. Yeah, still not even halfway with Builder using the ladder. So if you've got a fire pole and enough metal for that, probably no point in this. But if you're struggling with metal, maybe that is something you could take advantage of early on. So now for the more interesting bit, going up instead of down. I've got escalators and elevators. We're going to start with this escalator. The process is pretty similar to falling. We've got a dupe sensor and a NOT gate, which ultimately closes a door on a dupe's head. This time, instead of forcing them to the side and falling down, this is forcing them to go up one tile to the diagonal. And the process is just going to repeat until they get to the very top. Everything here is separated by buffer gates. 0.2 seems to be the magic number. We also have to have a filter gate which holds a false signal until the dupe gets to the top. So essentially, the longer the escalator, the bigger this number needs to be. Finally, there's a door here that closes. What I don't want to have happen is the dupe decides they want to go do something, so this door forces them to go in this direction. We also have a door here forcing them to go backwards, so they just essentially relax until they get pushed to the top. When they do get pushed to the top, this dupe sensor and this signal here is sent so the door actually opens. Let's just look at the actual logic here. So again, dupe sensor, not gates, filter, and then a bunch of buffers. And then the final dupe sensor, let them out at the end. Well, let's watch this whole thing play out. We've got our dupe coming up. Dupe sensor is picking them up. Doors closing. They're just being shuffled so they get to the very top. Then they go down this direction. We're sorry, your dupe's in another castle. Now it's time to look at the elevator. It works actually pretty similar to the escalator in the sense that there's a dupe sensor, a knock gate, and then a filter. This filter gate, again, the length of time depends on the height of your elevator. Then you've got a series, again, of buffer gates. The first one is set to 0.3, and then I've got 0.2 from there on up. So the idea is the dupe's going to stand here as they're thinking that they're going to actually do a long climb, but the door is going to shut on them. That's going to force them up to here, and then this door is going to shut shortly after. They're going to go from tile, tile, tile until they get to the very top. We've got 2 doors here that are going to shut just so that they don't get engaged some other activity and try to climb up again. They're just going to relax. Let's let the elevator bring them up. And then a dupe sensor and OR gate right there. That's going to open up these doors when they finally arrive. So let's watch this go down. I've got some snow tiles. You'll see one flaw, which is they're going to drop some stuff. Unlike dropping dupes, where it's not really an issue because they're going to follow the dupes, they're going to lose that material. But as long as whatever you want to build is also up here, that won't be an issue. Just like to point out that the elevator does suffer from similar things as dropping dupes, which essentially interrupts their priority, so someone else could pick up a job a dupe was doing. Also, when one dupe is going up, that actually blocks access, even if it's just a short period of time. So dupes that were also trying to get there will try to drop something and may not get up there as quickly. But it is pretty fun to watch them go. Now, to conclude this section with a little race comparing 2 types of ladders. Didn't bring in tubes, but certainly if you've got tubes, there's no point of building this system. But here we are, 3 dupes racing to the top. Looks like the plastic ladder is very comparable. Regular ladder, not so much. But for the... Okay, stop it right there. So yeah, a little bit faster than the plastic ladder. The regular ladder, they're actually able to get more than halfway up in the same amount of time that it takes the elevator to rise. Just before I show you my last trick, which involves teleportation, which is kind of funny to watch, let me tell you about this extreme challenge I'm currently doing on the Frosty Planet pack on this particular asteroid, which is extra cold. Settings are on the max, ravenous dupes, no teleportation or care packages, but that's not all. I'm surviving on this cold asteroid without ever using wood. No ice liquefier, no wood heater. This is going to be nuts. Feel free to join. It's called the Series Survivors. And for the final thing I'd like to show you today, a little bit of a teleportation trick. So Frosty demonstrating that they're getting trapped here and getting teleported back to this zone. Now the way this works is, unfortunately, it'll only work from the location the dupe has already been. So since the dupe has walked up here, they're completely trapped. They don't know what to do. So from this little point where they had to jump up, that's where the game takes them. It'd be really nice if this had taken them some random spot. We could be able to utilize that for something more useful. Going back to where they were, not the best, but still, it's hilarious to watch. Alright, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you at one of my other videos. Till then.